Both the novels, Things Fall Apart and The Things They Carried, center around characters that lead lives defined by exterior forces. Whether that be rape culture, gender roles, or family legacy, these forces controlled the characters' lives and left them unable to live for themselves. This idea is perfectly reflected in Shakespeare's sonnet number 84.
Who is it that says most, which can say more than this rich praise, that you alone are you? And whose confined and murid is the store, which should example where your equal grew? Lean penury within that pen doth dwell, that to his subject lends not some small glory. But he that writes of you, if he can tell that you are you, so dignifies his story. Let him but copy what in you is writ, not making worse what nature made so clear, and such a counterpart shall fame his wit, making his style admired everywhere. You to your beauteous blessings add a curse, being fond on praise, which makes your praises worse.
In this sonnet, the speaker is enraptured by the perfection of their subject. The only flaw they find is that the subject is too fond of their own praise. If they were to just relinquish their need for recognition, they could finally reach their full potential. This is a theme that manifests itself in both novels, but it results in two much different outcomes. In Things Fall Apart, Okonkwo is widely held in his village to be the toughest and bravest warrior in all of the land. He is a man of high status, and not only has he proven himself in battle, but he has also proven to be an extremely hard worker in the field. However, his motivation to become this man of status was born from the legacy of his father, who is known as a bum. Okonkwo's entire life has been built on trying to escape the legacy his father left, and it begs the question, is this the real Okonkwo, or is it just the man he feels he needs to be? The answer is revealed as the village strays away from the ideals of war and battle due to the white colonists. When Okonkwo discovers that his journey to escape the reputation of his father has now become redundant, he realizes he no longer has a reason to live. His whole life had been defined by his father, and now without it, it has become meaningless, which ultimately leads to his suicide. The need for praise observed in Shakespeare's sonnet is also present in Their Eyes Were Watching God through the life of Janie. Throughout the duration of the novel, Janie constantly allows her life to be defined by meaningless things. It all starts with her family's history with rape culture. Her grandmother was raped, as well as her mother, and Janie herself is even a product of rape. This tragic history only reinforces the idea that a strong masculine presence is needed in order to be protected, which is why Janie goes from man to man trying to find a person to complete her. It isn't until after struggling through relationships with Logan, Joe, and Tea Cake that she realized that she doesn't need a man to reach her potential. The company and praise of a husband is not essential in life. Unlike Okonkwo, Janie allows herself to finally live for herself. She frees herself from being defined by traditional gender roles, and by doing this, Janie truly gives herself the opportunity to live life to the absolute fullest. A passage towards the end of the novel perfectly illustrates this point. It reads, "She pulled in her horizon like a great fish net, pulled it from around the waist of the world, and draped it over her shoulder."